Boom! So, good evening, everybody. I'm always dead excited to hang out with you lot. It's 4 minutes past 9. It's Monday night. It's the highlight of my Monday, without a doubt. I very much look forward to doing this every Monday night. How is everybody doing? Huge shout out to those people who are watching on the replay, or if you are listening to the Acts on This TV audio experience on iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher. Shout out to you as well. Thank you for joining us. Do drop me a tweet if you are listening on the audio experience at Acts on This TV, at Ross A. Grant. I want to know what you're doing right now whilst you are listening to this audio, because there's roughly 2,000 actors a week download the audio experience, and I know I hardly hear from any of you because you might not be able to join us live and comment like these guys here, like Chris and Helen and Sandra and Dawn, and everyone is here tonight, and Saffron's just joined, and Nicola's just joined, Helen's just joined, Brendan's in the house. You might not be able to join us live because you might be doing stuff on a Monday night, but you might catch up. You might be one of those 2,000 people who catches up every week on the audio experience. So please drop me a tweet and let me know what you were doing. Are you walking the dog? Are you in the gym? Or are you doing something crazy? Craziest person maybe wins a prize. I don't know what that is yet, but I might sort you out with something. Tonight, guys, I want to talk about, we might start, I just said it before we went live to a few people in the waiting area, might start mixing some of these Monday night broadcasts up just a little bit, and I'll tell you why. Just because I'm doing some things in my own life now that I've started getting back into that I used to do, that are making a big difference, that are moving the needle on my mindset, the way I think about the world, this industry, my life. And that is one of those things, as simple as it sounds, is just reading more. I used to read loads. So behind me, if you're on the audio experience, you can't see, but there's a couple of bookshelves behind me. They've got not loads of books on, but there's probably like 65, 70 books on there. And I used to do a book club every other week for Acts on This, these live webinars that we do on a Monday night on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. I used to do a book club where I'd be reading a book because I was reading anyway, and I would just read a chapter a week, every other week to you guys. So we'd done 4 chapters, and so you'd basically got a brief synopsis of the book. And it was pretty good. I think people enjoyed it. It was a little bit like story time with Ross, and we stopped doing it. We've not done it in ages, right? So one, let me know if you'd be up for, if you think that'd be a good idea, if you'd be up for, maybe settling in on a Monday night and listening to me read a book for half an hour. It's basically like Audible, but for free. If you've got an Audible subscription with Amazon, you can cancel it because I'll just read you the books. It's fine. But I've been reading some books recently that have been that have just really changed the way that I look at a lot of things in the world right now, and particularly in terms of COVID and the pandemic. This year has been a really, really challenging year for a lot of people, but something that I've seen now, and you know what, it's not something I saw at the start of the pandemic, it's something that I'm seeing now almost when we've wrapped our heads around it, because it does feel, yes, it's still a terrible situation we're in, but it feels, I don't know what it feels like for you guys, it feels a bit more manageable for me. I know where I'm at. I don't feel weird when I'm wearing a mask in public anymore. I kind of, totally used to social distancing, hand sanitizing, all that sort of stuff that felt so foreign initially. I've kind of got my head around it all now, and it feels quite kind of normal in a weird way. So I think right now is a time, particularly in my life, I'm kind of going all in on myself now, going, right, I've kind of dealt with all that. And I feel that maybe over the last 5 months, yes, we've done a lot of stuff. I've done loads of stuff on actsonthis.tv. I've literally quadrupled the content for premium members. So I've definitely worked hard, but I've not really gone in on myself all that much, particularly in my career, in my own acting career, and things like that. And it was last week I was reading a book and I was like, actually, you know what? Now is the time. Now stuff is starting to happen again, and there are TV shows in production. You'll see if you follow a lot of casting directors on Twitter that they're all tweeting now. So many are tweeting that things are creeping in. It's certainly not full steam ahead. It's not how it used to be at all. I'm not saying that, but there are more and more opportunities. I'm like, now, Ross, now is the time. You go all in on you, all in on what you want, and you get really clear and make the rest of this year count. And we talked about that a little bit on last week's broadcast. But what I've seen, ironically, in the last week on Twitter, and I mentioned this a little bit to the people who were premium members of Acts on This, and we had our call on Friday, just gone. I've seen a lot of people, oh God, almost the first thing that is going for them now, in terms of if they have to cancel something, is themselves, their wants, their needs, and their acting career. So I'm getting emails from actors, and I understand it. Finances are quite tight at the moment for a lot of actors. And just a lot of people, forget acting, just a lot of people. But it's almost like people are denying themselves the thing that makes them the happiest. It's almost like the first thing that has to go is like, right, well, that's it. I've got to cancel my acting classes. I'll cancel my acts on this membership. I'll cancel my Spotlight. I'll cancel my Mandy subscription. These things ultimately that could, if I go all in on them and all in on myself, actually get me out of this problem. They're the first things that people are kind of getting rid of. And I was on a coaching call. I've got quite a lot of coaches in my own life. I believe that if I'm here as a coach for other people in the world, it would be massively ironic and hypocritical for me to go, oh yeah, I'll coach you guys, but I don't need a coach. So I have multiple in my life. And I was on a call with one of my coaches last week, and there's an author called John Maxwell. And I read a few of his books a few years ago. But there was a story within one of his books, and this coach I was working with just basically replayed this story to me. And he went, oh my God, I forgot all about it. But I got chills up my spine. And it was a story in one of the books. It's nothing to do with acting, but ultimately it's about a guy, and it's fictional. It's fictional, right? But you'll get this. You'll understand this. It's about a guy, and I think he's like in the military. He's kind of like, he's one of these military guys. Colonel, sergeant type people, has worked his way up the military. And anyway, he ends up retiring, not really going after what he wanted. He just ends up, kind of quitting in the end. And then one day he gets to the pearly gates and God's there. And whatever you believe in, whether you're religious or not, I'm not particularly religious. I'm pretty spiritual though. Only because I feel I have to be. I'm like, God, please don't let this be it. When it can't all be over. If I end up dying, it can't all be over. I'm having too much of a good time. I need to go somewhere else. But basically, he has that conversation, and God goes, listen, who was the best? Who was the best kind of colonel, the best general in the world? And this guy is like reeling off all of these names, and we probably wouldn't know them. We could do it for ourselves. Like, who's the best actor in the world? And we might go Marlon Brando, Robert De Niro, or whatever. And God just keeps going, nope, nope, nope. And he's reeling off all these names. He's like, who then? Who then? He just kind of looks at this guy and he just goes, you were the best, in the world. But no one ever realized that because you never actually went all in and you never did it. So in terms of you as an actor, it would be literally you going, oh, all these people are amazing. And then God turning around and going, no, Brendan, no, Sandra, no, Chris. You were the best actor in the world, but you just didn't ever go all in. You never quite committed fully to that one shot that you had. And then it's kind of like game over for you. And there was a quote within the book, and it's sort of how John Maxwell started writing this book. And it says in 1976, I've got it here, John Maxwell received a gift. This is true. He received a gift from his assistant at the time, Eileen. Come on, Eileen. He unwrapped it to find a book titled The Greatest Story Ever Told, right? And he was eager to read it, but when he opened it, the pages were blank. Inside was a note from Eileen that said, John, your life is before you. Fill these pages with kind acts, good thoughts, and matters of your heart. Write a great story with your life. And he says here, for the first time, it made him think about how he was the author of his life, and he could fill every page in that book that was blank with whatever he wanted. And it made him, sort of like, it made him see the significance in himself, his own life, how much control that he had, and it inspired him to do, whatever he could do to make his life matter. And he went on, John, to be one of the greatest thought leaders in the world, sell millions of books, became a multimillionaire, basically smashed it. And, had he not been given that gift or that reminder that ultimately he was in charge of writing his own story, he might have ended up like that guy who, really wanted to go all the way in the army, but never did. Just went, no, you know what, it's too tough. I can't do it. I've not got the fitness. I can't get through whatever tests you've got. You've got to go through those mad, crazy tests of like getting the Navy SEALs and stuff like that. He just never did it. He went, no, I can't put the effort in. And then God was like, no, you were the best. You were meant to be the best. You could have been the best Navy SEAL or the best whatever in the world, but you just didn't go all in. And I just got that story, and I just thought, I just felt like a proper like chill through my spine, going, oh my God, like that counts for every single one of us on here. We all could be the best, joint best. Well, if you're in the acts of this community, we'll all be joint best. But how many people? I'm just seeing it. It makes me really sad. I'm just seeing so many actors. Like I say, the first thing that they're getting rid of in their lives right now, when the going gets tough, is the only thing that lights them up and makes them feel alive. And I'm like, oh my God, and I don't know if it's just sort of like, fear like Chris, you said you were feeling the fear and that sort of stuff. I just don't know if it is just kind of like too many people are unwilling to get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. So Chris, if you can fall in love with that feeling that you have when you're sat in your flat in Media City going, oh my God, I've gone all in on myself for once in my life, I think that's just the perfect place for you to be, mate. It's where everybody should kind of live. I remember when I bought my first apartment here, and I remember like literally put every penny I had into it because as an actor, the bank don't trust you. The bank are like, if you want a mortgage, then you're going to have to basically give us every penny you've got. And I remember sitting here, honestly, with like about 200 quid in the bank. And I mean, like, and I hadn't got any food or anything. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I've kind of gone all in. And then like a month later, when the world hadn't collapsed around me, I'd paid that first mortgage payment. And I went, oh my God. Actually, if I just, cut back on these things, but I say yes to myself still, but I cut back on these things that maybe were unnecessary, I can do this. And then very, very quickly you go, why didn't I do this years ago? Because I was just scared to push, get uncomfortable, and get rid of any money that I had in the bank that I was saving for a rainy day. And now, like 2 years later, all is well in the world in terms of there is no issue. There is no issue with sort of me not being able to pay the mortgage and stuff on this place. But I was so afraid to take that leap initially. So if there's something in your life right now, and it's probably your acting career where maybe you're not going all in because you've written 2020 off, you don't quite believe in yourself, you don't believe you could be the best in the world. I don't want you to get to heaven, hopefully when we all get there, and someone turn around and go, Julie, who's the best actor in the world? Who else have we got on here? Hannah, Natalie, who's the best actor in the world? And then you say all these other people, and then they turn around and go, no, it was you. It was you. And you just didn't go all in. You didn't believe in yourself. So go and read some great books. I've got my Audible library open here. I'm going to give you a few books that I have read. Actually, that's a lie, that I have listened to, but I certainly will buy and read on a book club, and that's on this book club if you want to do that, if you're up for that, because I'm definitely up for sharing these with you. And there's some great ones here. The first one I read was called Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender. Someone could make a note of these and whack them in the chat. That'd be really, really useful. Letting Go, it's called The Pathway of Surrender, and that's by David R. Hawkins. The next two are by a great guy who you might have seen online because he's quite prominent online, a guy called Vishen Lakhiani. And he's written two books that I've read that are really, really good. I think I've only got one of them on here. The first one here, though, is called The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. And that's about literally like tuning in and like bending your own reality through your thoughts, which sounds crazy, but like there's a hell of a lot of science behind it. The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. There's a book by David Goggins, who's like the hardest man in the world. Like this guy is literally insane. It's just called Can't Hurt Me, Master Your Mind and Defy the Odds. David Goggins, Goggins, Can't Hurt Me, Master Your Mind and Defy the Odds. This one's brilliant. This is by a guy called Ryan Holiday. I could do with a holiday. Do you know what? This sums up a lot of actors. This sums up so many actors' situations. The book is called The Obstacle is the Way. The Timeless Art of Turning Trials into Triumph. The obstacle is the way. Okay? The obstacles is the way. Not can't help me, Sam. Can't hurt me. Can't help me. The book can help you. It's called Can't Hurt Me, the David Goggins one. But yeah, this one by Ryan Holiday, The Obstacle is the Way. Basically, the whole premise of the book is like, for so many of us, the thing that we feel is between where we are and where we want to be is actually the very thing that we need to do. So it's like actors now going, I have no money, and therefore I'm going to cancel my spotlight acting classes, act on this membership, Mandy, all of these things to save money. So basically, I can have my Domino's pizza on a Saturday night and a bottle of wine, right? Make myself feel better, get some instant gratification. So I'm going to cancel these other things that actually were the very things. Yes, they required work. You had to act on them. Whole part of act on this. But actually were the things that were going to get you out of that hole of having no money. And I told a story on Friday to the Acts on This lot when we had a group call. And I was like, there's been so many times in my life. There was a time in 2000, when would it have been? It was about 2010. And I was sat in my bedroom at my mum's council house, basically. Wasn't born with any money whatsoever, so don't get that twisted. And it was 2010. My dad had died 4 years before that, so in 2006. My mum was blind, still is, because we've got this eye condition in my family. And the last thing my dad said to me was, "You look after your mum." So it was 4 years had gone by, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm still working for minimum wage in a toy shop. There's no way I can look after my mum. This is ridiculous. What am I doing in my life? I've been at drama school. I'm supposed to be an actor. And obviously I've always been a geek. I've loved web stuff. I've loved building websites. The whole point, of Acts on This, basically, I wouldn't have been able to do it for 10 years if I didn't love the geeking out on the technology and stuff. And there was a program that a guy called Jeff Walker had brought out, teaching people ultimately how to launch online products, how to build sites, how to build stuff of value so that, you can grow communities and ultimately have what we have today. And it was $2,000, and I was getting paid £5.75 an hour at game. I was literally earning nothing. And to be honest with you, I was spending most of that on a weekend, running away from my life, buying T-shirts that were too expensive, that I couldn't really afford, to look good in a club that I shouldn't have been in, to, drinking alcohol I shouldn't have been drinking, and living this weekend millionaire lifestyle that I certainly wasn't. But I was basically just running away from who I actually was. And I remember the first year this guy launched this product, and I was like, oh my God, that looks exactly what I need. I've got this idea for this website, Acts on This. Oh, this looks exactly like the kind of thing that I need to, to sort of help me launch it and understand how you build a brand online. And I hovered over the buy button for about 3 days, right? And it was a launch that when it closed, that product went away for a year because he taught it live. So you can only get on it once a year. And it was $1,997. And I convinced myself I couldn't afford it. I went, nope, I've got no money. I'm poor. This is how it is. Forget it. And I didn't do it. And the second it closed down, I kicked myself. And I remember sitting with my mum going, I'm a dick. Why on earth didn't I do that? The one thing that I thought could help me right now, I didn't do it because I was scared. I didn't go all in on myself. And I had to wait a whole year. And the following year, I'd saved up a bit of money and I'd put that money to one side. And I was ready. As soon as he launched that course again, I bought it like within seconds, like I was trying to get like a ticket to a concert. And that changed my life. Yes, it was $2,000 that I convinced myself I didn't have. I was telling myself, oh no, I can afford programs like that when I've got money. So I'll get it when I've got money, not realizing I was never going to have money until I bought a program like that. The obstacle... I'm talking about this book with Ryan Holiday's book. The obstacle was the way. The thing that I was putting in the way was the exact thing that I needed to get over the actual obstacle. The obstacle was the thing. It wasn't something I needed to get around or get over or go under. That was the thing that I actually needed. And then I launched Acts on This, and then actually, that course very, very quickly paid for itself multiple times over. I didn't make any profit because it all went back into the business, but ultimately it made the website kind of stop paying for itself, so it wasn't coming out of my pocket. We were, starting to kind of almost break even. So it taught me a big lesson in terms of sometimes the thing that I'm saying I'll do when I'm in this position, I'm never going to be in that position till I do that thing. I can't go into the gym having never worked out and go, I'll lift those weights over there when I've got big arms. I need to start working out in order to be able to ever lift those weights. So Ryan Holiday's book, The Obstacle is the Way, is another incredible book. You should definitely get that one. And then this next one, I only started reading this week. And it's only out on Audible at the moment. It's not out in paperback form, but there's a guy, and it's a business book, but it absolutely applies to your acting careers, 100%. I think this will be maybe the first book that we do on a book club if I'm going to start doing it again. And it's called Your Next 5 Moves. Master the Art of Business Strategy, but it could also say Master the Art of Business Acting Strategy. Your Next 5 Moves. It's by a guy called Patrick Bet David. So Patrick and then Bet, B-E-T, hyphen David is his surname. In fact, why am I not just showing you this? I can just share my screen with you. Let me have a look. Here you go. It's that one at the top there. Your Next 5 Moves. And he talks about something that he calls sequencing. And sequencing is ultimately the order of anything that you do in your life, right? And, in the morning, let me know your sequence in the morning. So I'll pick on somebody. Hannah, what do you do when you first wake up in the morning? What's the first thing that you do when you first wake up in the morning? Saba, you're here as well. So Tell us, what's the first thing that you do? Maybe it's, you know what, kind of like I make my bed. Get out of bed, make the bed. Then it's, okay, I go and have some breakfast, and then I brush my teeth. Then I get in the shower, then I get dressed, right? So that's your next 5 moves in the morning. That's your sequence, and that sets you up ready for the day properly. Now, imagine you got that sequence the wrong way around. You went, okay, so what's the first thing you do when you get up? Well, I get up, I get dressed, I get in the shower. While I'm in the shower, I eat my porridge, and then I clean my teeth, right? It's not the right sequence, and it's about actually making tactical decisions and working backwards from the result that you want. So those people who are, if you've actually, you know what, I've got this is perfect. At the bottom of the screen, I'm doing that training again. I did a free training 2 weeks ago for actors who are looking for their first TV role. So it doesn't even have to be your first, actually, your first few TV roles. And basically, I take people on this training, it's completely free, through the exact sequence, the process that I used myself to get my first 12 TV jobs. Well, actually my first 15, and I still really, to be honest, I still use this today. I've used this sequence today to reach out to casting directors actually in America. It's the same process that I use. It's proven, it works basically, and I take people through this process. And it's a sequence. If you do this, followed by this, in this strict order, you know, you can pretty much, you know, you can never 100% guarantee anything, can you? But you've got such a high chance of this equaling the result in terms of, fingers crossed, you getting invited in to do a self-tape or audition and then get, you know, a role on TV. They're not going to be huge leading roles, but this is about getting you your first TV credit as quick as possible. If you want to join the training, I'm doing it one more time next Saturday. It'll be the last time I do it live for probably this year, to be honest. actonthis.tv/training. Go and fill the form, and you get your Zoom link sent to you literally instantly. actonthis.tv/training. Fill that form in, and you'll get a free place on it. And you know, I'm going to go through it again. If you were on the first training, it's going to be the same training this time. But by all means, you know, come and go over it again if you want a bit of a recap on it. But it's ultimately that sequence of doing this, followed by this, followed by this, equals this. And then it's, you know, thinking about what is it that I want, and then working backwards from there. So this book, Your Next 5 Moves, is all about that. And I've started listening to it literally just today. So I'll let you know how good it is. But it seems, from what I've seen about it already, and I've also heard an interview with the author, with Patrick, it just seems awesome. And these books have had such a profound effect on me in lockdown in terms of like changing my mindset. I feel, particularly over the last couple of weeks, having, you know, taken in more of this sort of stuff, I just feel sort of like more elevated than ever. And that's why I'm like, I need to bring these books back, because I want you guys to feel what I'm feeling right now. So let us know if you'd be up for that. But that's basically, you know, a little bit of a pep talk at the start of this. I just don't want you, because I'm seeing so many actors do it, quitting on themselves now and almost going, oh, you know what, the going's got tough. You know, maybe things aren't the way I want them because of COVID or whatever. And rather than actually innovating, pivoting, looking for the opportunity that's there, which is so abundant right now, I'm going to actually focus on everything that isn't there. Seek and you will find, innit? Seek for the shit and you're going to find it, you know? Think shit thoughts, you're like a shit magnet. You're just going to attract shit things in your life, right? As opposed to the people that I'm seeing who are winning, who are seeking out opportunity, looking for the good stuff, looking for the abundance in the world, and which there is plenty. You know, and they're going all in on themselves. And we've got like these next 4 months to make it count. And then 2020's done. I just don't want people to look back on 2020 and go, yeah, that was the year I just let fly by. Because there's a lot of people who didn't get through 2020. And I just think it's an insult to them if you're not living your life and going all in on you, because there'll be people who did get to the pearly gates because COVID's taken them out. And maybe they have had that conversation where, you know, they've gone, who's the best musician in the world? Oh, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson. No, it was you. It was you, Dave, but you didn't go all in on you. So I want you to think about that. Ollie says, I'm selling my boat. No way, Ollie's lived on a boat for ages. I'm selling my boat, moving back in with my mum. Then I'm securing my next 2 TV credits. Then I'm applying audition and getting on to a drama master's course. Then I'm touring Henry V for 4 months. Then I'll be training at one of the premier drama schools in the country. How's that for the next 5 moves? Ollie, that's a grand 5 moves, mate. That's like checkmate. Yeah, that's a good 5 moves, dude. Helen says, I'm thinking of quitting drama at uni. COVID has changed the drama course, and to be honest, I reckon I could achieve more this next year under my own steam. Do you know what? That's something that's actually really interesting. So I have now started. I thought, right, to be honest with you, my drama school was just 15 grand. Now that's still a shitload of money, but compared to what people are paying nowadays, Helen, I don't know what you're paying, but I had a meeting with the head of a university just on Friday. And he was saying it's roughly his students are coming out with £45,000 worth of debt for drama school, his drama graduates. And I was like, oh my God, I came out with 15 grand worth of debt, and I did 3 years at one of the best drama schools in the country, and I came out wholly unprepared for the TV industry, the only industry I wanted to work in. And I thought, people are queuing up to pay 45 grand for a degree where, honest to God, I'm not even mucking around. I believe if you got a membership to actonthis.tv, which is 224 quid for the year, it's ridiculously cheap. If you're not prepared to put that into your career, just quit now. Just call it a day. And I think, well, it's not even a thing. I know I can give you 100 times better education on the industry than any £45,000 drama degree can give you. So I had a meeting with this guy and was like, listen, we need to do volume licensing where you buy, ultimately, for a fee each year, and I will license out seats to your students so that everyone in your course gets access to Acts on This, gets, the calls with the casting directors every week, with the agents every week. And it will transform those students' lives. Because if I had this when I was at drama school, I honestly would have saved myself 5 years. I'm not even joking with that. It took me 5 years to get my first TV credit. If I did the training that I'm going to do for free next Saturday, and I really acted on it, went all in on it, committed, I could get my first role in 6 months. I could have saved myself 4.5 years off a free training I'm going to do next Saturday. Because it's so much more valuable than anything I was taught at drama school. Yes, drama school taught me how to act in a theatre, and that was it. Didn't teach me how to act for telly, how to act within a frame. Didn't teach me any of that. Didn't teach me anything about the business of the business, agents, casting directors, who was who. None of that whatsoever. And to think kids are paying 45 grand for that these days, I'm like, that is insane. I should charge 25 grand for Acts on This and go, come and just do the degree with me. It's mental. Yeah, I can give you a better education, Helen, on the business of the business for 224 quid a year than people might be paying 45 grand for. It just blows my mind how it's got so expensive. Even 15 grand when I was at drama school was a lot, but 45 is just absolutely bonkers. Chris says, quick question for That's on This Hive Mind. Is info@peterhuntcasting.com the best way to contact him? 100%. Yes, it is. Definitely, Chris. Certainly is, mate. Yeah. That is absolutely correct. He says, all right, sick. Language these days, that's another funny thing, isn't it? Sick means good. Mental. So that's that. I'm going to play you some stuff now as well. I mean, God, we've got loads to go out. What time is it now? Bloody hell. Right, I'm not going to be able to play you everything tonight. I've got loads of stuff to share with you as well. We had an amazing chat last week with James Hooton, plays Sam Dingle in Emmerdale, who was like blown away by James on that webinar. Who was here who was on that? Because the guy's just flipping awesome, isn't he? And he was really surprised that he was absolutely nothing like Sam Dingle, and he was talking about molecular biology and like real next level thinking and psychology, all kinds of stuff. Absolutely awesome guy. I've got a couple of clips from James, but yeah, what an absolutely great guy this guy is. You've got access to the replay of this if you're a member of actonthis.tv and you missed the webinar. The full replay is in your members area right now. If you're not a member of actonthis.tv, forget spending £45,000 a year or whatever it is. So I think someone said they pay 12 grand a year for their drama school. Just get a membership to Acts on This. It'll cost you 24 quid a month or 224 quid a year. You save 60 odd quid if you get a year up front. Like, I can't tell you like how crazy it is that people are paying so much money for drama school. Here is a little bit of what you missed. You have probably invited this chap, or his alter ego, Sam Dingle, into your living room multiple times a week for the past 2.5 decades. It's Emmerdale legend, actor James Hooton. James, welcome to the webinar.
I'm 47 years old, and I think I was 21, 22 when I first darkened the doors on January the 10th, 1995 was my first scene.
What have you found the reality of actually realising this dream is? Because for so many people, it is a massive dream. What's it like to live?
If you get a regular gig in this game, you know, you are like, oh, thank God, because you can, like, financially plan, as you say.
Is there a point where you go, well, my agent doesn't really have time to do anything for me, thus I'll negotiate my own renewal and then I'll save the 15% commission? Or what? How have you played that?
Would you recommend having an agent that has got soap actors, serial drama actors on their books?
Well, it certainly makes sense. And like I was sort of saying to Ross before, it's a very individual thing. You know, this is someone that you're putting the potential of your career in someone's hands.
I was just wondering your opinion on, like, would it be a good idea to move up to the north and try and, you know, because there seems to be a nice community up there. I don't know whether that's because of Act on This and everyone's so friendly.
How do you deal with animosity on set in terms of if it comes up, and how do you quell it quickly?
It does, and it has come up. There's been incidents over time that I've been directly involved with on set, and someone stopping a take because they didn't like the way I said a line.
How do actors who are established in a soap, how do they feel about day players turning up?
You're our fellow artists, our contemporaries, our friends. We want to welcome people in with open arms who come on set and work with us. It's probably self-confidence and self-belief. And it's a number of things that I suppose only experience can make up for or can aid you with.
Boom! Actonthis.tv if you want to listen to the full thing. But we asked some proper, we cut through the bullshit in that interview. Some serious questions about all kinds of things about, working on serial drama for 25 years, what that must be like, how you keep it fresh, how that affects your relationship with your agent. Do you bother having one? When you're such a regular, do you end up going, right, well, I'll pay your commission every single year, even though I'm basically in a job full time at the moment? We spoke about all kinds of stuff. People who are here tonight, Brendan, we saw you on there talking about day players. Sandra, we heard you on there talking about, when it can sometimes get a little bit sort of heated on set, or if you're, part of a theatre production or something, and there's, a little bit of bad blood in the air, how that kind of works. I'm going to play a couple more sort of in-depth clips. Brendan and Sandra, you're going to have your moment tonight. I'm going to play your questions out because I thought they were really interesting. I thought James's answers were good as well. But if you want to listen to the full interview, I'm going to share my web browser. Let's get off Audible for a second. Get yourself over to actonthis.tv in the members area. Well, this is the preview section. If you've not got a membership, you can watch a little trailer here, along with all the other stuff that we've had on recently. We've had so many great agents, actors, casting directors. We've got another fantastic casting associate, Daniel Edwards, casting associate. Lucy Allen is on this Thursday night. They cast massive, massive, massive stuff. So we're going to be talking to Lucy this Thursday. But yeah, you guys who are members in your members area, which is here, if you go into the top 5 here, our latest 5 features, you'll find the full chat with James right there. You'll find it in video format and audio format as well, so you can go and listen to that or watch it after this broadcast. Don't go now, because I'll be lonely. I'll have no friends. Here's the training, by the way. No, it's not. That's Amazon again. There's the training. That's the training that I'm doing this Saturday, coming up this Saturday. actonthis.tv/training. Go to this page, just pop your name and email address in, and it will automatically send you a Zoom link literally now. There's 300 places on that webinar again, I think, and we've got as of this morning, we had about 180 people register for it already, which is crazy. So do go and get your seat. And in fact, I've got a couple of tweets here from people who have I? Yeah, I have. Here's just a couple. I only pulled a couple up, but I thought I'll get a couple out just to show you that it's a pretty good training. David, don't know if you're here, but David said, honestly, I just have to give the biggest thanks to Ross for this amazing webinar. I cannot believe how much I've just learned and how career-changing this one podcast is. You know what I mean? Steve there in his maths has been busy afternoon. Thanks to Acts on This TV for this morning's webinar. Crucial information given in my search for 2 lines in Doctors. Steve, we're going to have you 2 lines in Doctors by the end of the year, mate. Doctors is back filming. All the serial dramas about filming. which is amazing. Some of them aren't going to be at capacity yet, so I think people like EastEnders are going back to just 4. They're doing 4 episodes a week, and they're dropping the time to 20 minutes an episode, so it's slightly shorter episodes, but they're doing 4 instead of what would it normally be on 5 times a week. But you know, Corrie and Emmerdale are filming now. They're getting their episodes right back up there. So yeah, it's pretty good. You know, there's going to be a lot of opportunity in the TV industry that I hope people are going to start capitalising on. Chris Stone's in the house. Chris, I was just going to call you back, Mr. Grant, but you're currently live. Don't phone me now, Chris. I'm using my phone for the internet here. Don't phone me in case it cuts it off, but I will give you a bell, or you give me a bell after 10 o'clock when we finish here. What else have we got going on? Is it possible new people? It's possible new people from Spain. Oh, now people from Spain. Sandra shared this in Spain. Thanks, Sandra. They might get an act on this membership. We'd love to have some more Spanish people. Why not? What the hell? Lauren's in the house from America. Says James was great. Yeah, I think everybody enjoyed James's webinar. He was just awesome, and he spent so much time with us as well. I think that webinar must be like 2.5 hours. Long or whatever. I'm going to play another couple of clips from James's webinar because there were some good ones. This one is on day players. So a whole part of this training that I'm doing on Saturday, guys, is to get you your first day player role, which is going to be where you're going to be going into a show for 1 episode. You might have 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, doesn't matter. It's going to be a credit for you, and it's going to kickstart your career. If you're looking for your first TV credit, actonthis.tv/training, go get your place. But here was Brendan asking James, because he's been in the show 25 years, what he thinks of day players. Obviously, James is there as a regular. Day players are coming in all the time. They're playing the nurses, the doctors, you know, the paramedics, all that kind of stuff. They're just coming in for a day. They're off out. Still getting paid handsomely for it, though. But here is James and what he's got to say on day players. Brendan, it's your time to shine.
How do actors who are established in a soap, how do they feel about day players turning up? Is there any element of, oh my God, I hope that they are, you know, or is it like, oh, here's something fresh and exciting and you get a different energy you can work off of? I mean, it must be nice, I would imagine.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. You're our fellow artists, our contemporaries, our friends. We want to welcome people in with open arms who come on set and work with us, even if it is for 1 line or 1 scene or 1 day or 1 week, however long it is. And that's part of the beauty of working at Emmerdale, I think, is that it is a welcoming environment for people, because it can be quite nerve-wracking coming into a show like that. And I've certainly worked on projects where I've been a small part player and, you know, just a few scenes here and there, and I've felt alien to those people. And I suppose part of what's kept me going back to something like Emmerdale is that ensemble feel that you get from it. Everyone's in the same boat. Sometimes more people are more prominent within the show than others, but it's an environment where everyone can shine and feel like they can ply their trade. So I think it's a great place to come. People vary on that scale of sort of 1 to 10 in nervousness when they arrive, and you can sort of see it in some people's demeanors as soon as they arrive sometimes. But it's one of those. I don't know if you ever get rid of that feeling of adrenaline when you're walking into a new environment. That adrenaline release, you know, it's always going to be there. So that's part of our flight or fight response, isn't it? And then you just sort of plow through it, get on with it, and we've got a welcoming and nurturing environment to be in at Emmerdale.
Bosh, and I can vouch for Emmerdale. I've done the show 5 times. Definitely one of the nicest places in the TV industry to work. You know what? They're all bloody cracking, though. There's not a serial drama I've worked on that hasn't just been like a real family feel. Did I see Mark here before? Mark Morell. Mark, you've done Corrie like hundreds of times as that copper, haven't you? He just keeps coming in every time. I'm sure that's your gig, innit? I had the regular copper in Hollyoaks for a little bit. And now they've actually put a copper in Hollyoaks, though, who's like a real character, like full time. I'm like, right, well, I should have had that. I used to just knock around every time there was like a break-in somewhere, a burglary, something to investigate. It was quite funny. I would end up being asked to go back, and I recently just did in lockdown. I just literally did 4 episodes of Hollyoaks last week in lockdown. I'll explain that another time. Very, very interesting. Effectively filming it, well, not even filming it, recording it from home. But again, it just shows you, when you get your casting type right and you market that correctly to casting directors and they get to know you over the years, they just come to you. So I did 4 episodes of Hollyoaks literally last week from my house. But Mark, if you're here, Mark's always the copper in Corrie. He comes in like, hello, hello, hello. Who's been a naughty boy then? Oh, here's Mark Morell. Joe Simpson, who's anyone who goes to Act for TV, the classes in Manchester that Michael Jackson runs. Joe Simpson plays PC Pierce in Emmerdale. Every time there's anything to do that warrants police, PC Pierce is there. So even like day play roles can turn into like semi-regular kind of stuff. Let me know if, what you are looking at right now. Let me know in the chat, if I gave you 1-2 lines in Hollyoaks or Emmerdale tomorrow, how would that make you feel? Would you snap my hand off for it or what? I just want to know where people are at and how many people we've got here who are looking for those day player roles that Brendan was just talking about. What about our seminar on Saturday the 5th of September? Kevin, it's going to absolutely blow people's minds. We've had a lot of people register for. I'm doing a full day event on this, by the way. If you want to find out more about it, we're going to go like mega deep on it though. Let's actonthis.tv/first roll if you want to get a ticket to this event. Had about 93 people register. I'm going to cut it off at about 100, I think. It's a virtual event. It's online. It's all day. It's 8 hours. But it's going to be freaking amazing, Kev. You're going to love it, mate. You're going to, honestly, I've got roughly through 4 of the 5 modules that I've got them completed now. I'm going to be taking people literally real in-depth stuff though, massively in-depth stuff about, again, how I booked those first 12, 15 TV roles, and still stuff that I do today. There's some technical stuff in there as well that I know a lot of people aren't doing, that people should be doing, that are really going to up your chances when you're communicating with casting directors and stuff. But it's going to be awesome, Kev. But yeah, that's actonthis.tv/first roll. But we've got the free training this Saturday, just actonthis.tv/training. I'm going to give you loads of guidance for free as well. Try and look after everybody. Sorry, was looking for your Insta account, says Hannah. Who's mine? At Act on This TV. Get on it. I want to be a regular battle axe in Corrie, says Helen. Helen, why not though? Why not indeed? You just need to, again, look at what your next 5 moves need to be. It might not be. That's the thing when it comes to sequencing, the stuff that Patrick was talking about in that book, your next 5 moves. I see a lot of actors and their next 5 moves, they're not doing move 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're trying to jump straight to 5, and that's why it's not working. And I'm seeing actors who I know, and there's some on here right now. There's some of you guys on here right now that I know, right? And I've seen your stuff. I've seen your reels. I've seen what you're capable of, and I've seen you knocking around for 2 years, 3 years, and you still haven't got that credit. And it's not because you're not good enough at all. You're more than capable, more than good enough. And I get so frustrated because I'm like, God, they should have done that by now. But maybe your sequencing's wrong. Well, it is. You know what it is. If you've not done it, it is. That's just as straightforward as it is. Either you're not taking any action, or the action you're taking, your sequence isn't correct. You're missing out. You might be doing step 1, and you're missing out 2, 3, and 4, and you're trying to go straight to 5. And that's probably why it's not working. In this training and in the full day that I'm doing on Saturday, the 5th of September, I'm literally holding your hand and I'm dragging you through the sequence, like as if my life depends on it, because I need everybody who does that event to get, well, as many people as possible to get their first TV role, because I want to turn that day into a full-blown course for actonthis.tv. Actonthis.tv needs, I think it's about time after 10 years that I have a flagship course. I feel, I've sat down with the biggest casting directors and agents and actors in the industry for 10 years. I've spoke about getting jobs for more than 450 hours straight. So I don't feel there's anybody really in the industry more qualified to talk about it, to be honest. Even the casting directors, because I'm like, you're just one casting director. I've spoken to about 70. So I can kind of cherry pick the info from all of them and go, actually, this is the most common stuff. And this is how I see most of them, actually working and then giving out those auditions, and here's how people are getting them. So it's going to be a great day on the 5th. But even the free training, come and get involved. You'll love it. I've just done background work, says Bobby. On what? Fair City. What's Fair City? I don't know what that is, Bobby. Is that an Irish thing? I love working on Corrie. I'm usually the court usher, says Chris. And Chris, you live around the corner from Corrie now, mate. You should be there all the time, just knocking on the door, going, come on. Oh, but that was extra work back in the day. Nah, man, we should, if you're going to do any court stuff, mate, you're at the point, man, you should be the person standing up going, yes, we have a verdict. We find that, when you're that person, people might think that that's a small role. Oh, he's only got 5 lines. When you're that person who the judge is going, Mr. Everett, whatever they'd call you, I don't know, head juror man, do you have a verdict? And you say, yes, Your Honour. we have a verdict. And he goes, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty? At that point, 3.5 million people are hanging on your every word. They're staring at you. The camera is on you. It's a single shot on you. And you've got the nation in the palm of your hands. And you're getting 700 quid for it or whatever. But yeah, people, it's that whole thing. There are no small parts, are they? Just small players. So Chris, you should be doing that. Forget the extra stuff now, mate. You should at least be the person who's, just got the 3.5-4 million people staring at him. Alex is in the house. Hope you're good, Alex. Hope you are well, mate. Going to play this next clip. It's got you in it, Sandra, and talking about. And you might have felt this sometimes when you're working with someone. You can't, it's impossible to please everyone. It's impossible to like everyone. It's impossible for everyone to like you. And occasionally, it's only happened a couple of times in my entire life because I try and just be lovely to everybody. I think that's the way forward. And most people just in our industry are pretty lovely. But there has been a couple of times where you end up working with someone and you're like, oh, you know what? Our personalities clash, or I just don't like the way you do stuff, or your work ethic doesn't match with mine, or there's just something not quite right. And Sandra asked a great question because she'd been in a show where this exact thing came up, and we asked James about how he deals with animosity on set and arguments and stuff. Because when you're in a soap for 25 years, it's not going to be plain sailing the whole way, is it? So this is James's advice for how he deals with any animosity on set. Quells it, stamps it out before it actually, turns into anything. I think we can all take a little bit of value from this. So here it is. How do you deal with animosity on set in terms of if it comes up, and how do you quell it quickly?
It does, and it has come up. There's been incidents over time that I've been directly involved with on set, and someone stopping a take because they didn't like the way I said a line. It's happened to me before, and that could have been a real flashpoint. And it almost was, but we sort of both offset had our say about it, and we managed to resolve the situation. But generally speaking, it doesn't happen a lot on Emmerdale that I experience directly. I think you try and keep your head as much as possible, and try and say, while stripping out the emotion of what you're saying, we're not getting in an emotional confrontation, because you can never have a rational discussion with someone who is having an emotional response. You try and keep emotion out of it to the greatest extent, and deal with whatever that issue is, or issues, and discuss them. Because if you're not discussing things out in the open, then you are harbouring resentments for things that may have happened that you may not have liked a colleague doing, or something that you've done to make that colleague upset. You've got to not fear hurting someone's feelings by saying what needs to be said as well, because they've got the right to do that to you. That's another Jordan Peterson thing of, to be able to think you've got to risk offending somebody, because your views may well be different from that person that you're dealing with. So at least thrash your views out in public together. Well, not in public, not in a big scrap, but in a conversation together. At least tell each other what you're feeling. I feel really fortunate from my perspective that I work with a group of people, generally speaking. The Dingles, who I work predominantly with on the show, are people that I click with every single one of those people, and we get enough time apart from each other. We're not in each other, living in each other's pockets, and we manage to retain a really good sort of level of colleague stroke friendship.
Boom, honesty. I just think it's just everything in it. Open, honest conversation ultimately just means that you get stuff dealt with really, really quickly. I think sometimes there's people who end up literally, it's mental. They end up harboring resentment for years because they put off having a 5-second, to up to 5-minute awkward conversation with somebody. And then it went unsaid, and then it just got built up more and more and more inside, and then it became weirder and weirder and weirder. And then they just, stop speaking to that person or whatever, and then it all just goes crazy. So honesty is the best policy. You've heard that off Sam Dingle himself. That's how the Dingles sort out their arguments before they even happen. But yeah, again, super interesting chat with James. If you want to listen to the full thing or watch the full thing, actonthis.tv, get your membership, get yourself involved and get involved in one of these live calls every single week, 2 Rapid Fire Friday Q&As with me personally, 1 live networking event on Zoom once a month on the first Saturday of the month. That's 6 features a month. Probably 20 hours of coaching a month for £6 a week. Again, total no-brainer. It's not 45 grand for drama school, and it'll give you a freaking miles better education. Fair City is the main soap opera in Ireland, says Kate. Bobby, now I get it. So Bobby's been working on Fair City. I really should sort of do more research. It's because I'm just basically, no, there is nowhere else in the world, just the UK. That's it. Yeah, what's it like? And we've got Jenny Dixon in the community, who was in a soap in. I wonder if she was in that one. Which soap was Jenny in for 5 years? Again, I need to do my research on Irish soaps, but yeah, she was in a soap for 5 years in Ireland. So I need to get up to date with the old Irish soaps, basically. What else have we got going on here in the chat? You've got new music for that clip. Nice one, Chris. Yeah, I did. I sent Petch a new music clip. I'm sick of we've got like 25 music tracks rats on this, and they're freaking expensive, It's like $25 every track. So I'm like, oh god, there's another £500 in music. But I got sick of the music. I'm like, I'm bored of the music on these clips. Let's give Petch at least. Petch is the editor, by the way. Let's give him at least one more track. Don't spoil him with too many. Sam asked a question. You said about, can you join in the afternoon if you can't make it in the morning? Are you talking about the free training that I'm doing, or have you got a ticket for the 5th of September event? The 5th of September event is going to be split into 2 halves. We've got the morning half. We'll have a short break for dinner, and I'm going to push you guys. I'm probably going to have 35 minutes for dinner, no more than that. And then we're going to do the second half in the afternoon. It's going to be 2 separate Zoom links. So if you wanted to just join in the afternoon, but you're going to get the recordings of it all. You're going to get the full recording of the entire 8-hour day. Plus, you're going to get access to the Facebook group. You're going to get all the bonuses. There's a little workbook as well that I've not fully completed yet, but you're going to get that a couple of days before the event. Most of the stuff in terms of the Facebook group will happen the week before the event. Some of the bonuses will be in your members area already. The contacts database that I've got, the most comprehensive contacts database of casting directors and agents and casting associates and casting assistants. You're going to get that on the day, and then you're going to get copies of that, that you can download after that and just, download them whenever you want. But yeah, most of the stuff between now and the event, you can just chill out. But if you want to join in the afternoon, come and join in the afternoon. You'll get a link for the afternoon session, and you get a link for the morning session, and the entire thing is going to be recorded. The recording will be broken down into sections and uploaded to your members area probably like 3 or 4 days after the actual event. So you're going to get access to all of that. But the thing that I love about this event more than anything is, one, I'm making you do it all in a day. So, F procrastination. We're not having anybody procrastinating, okay? 2, it doesn't mean we're going to rush it, though. It doesn't mean, you're going to go through this and then you're going to go, right, I'm now ready to go and, take on the world. You are, but there's going to be things you need to put in place. But they're dead simple. This is ultimately a 3-step process that we're going to go into real depth in on the day. But I promise you're going to come away feeling so freaking empowered and actually having a map, an actual plan of exactly what you've got to do. So hopefully it's going to stop people guessing now and going, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? It's really simple. Just do as I say, and I promise you're going to get some results. I can't do the work for you. That's the thing that people need to realize. I cannot be in the scene as you. I can't go, right, I think you need to just film this and then just go and do it for you, right? I can't do that. It's impossible. If I could, I'd do it all for you and just go, right, there you go. There is going to be the people who will get the most out of this program are the people who are going to be prepared to put the work in, and I'm hoping that the financial investment you're making in the program is enough to kick you up the backside to go, no, I've got to make this work. And if you do make it work, you will make your money back instantly on any of the investment that you've made in it. So Sam, you can join in the afternoon if you mean that event. If it's the free training, that's only going to be on the morning on Saturday. At 11 a.m. That's going to be completely live, though. Definitely. Chris says, like anything you grow, add time and care, and it will flourish. Absolutely. Definitely. Honestly, 100%. Time is going to pass anyway. I'm just all about that. I'm going, right, you know what? I can complain about how it is and how I can cry about how I wish it was, or I can work with how it is, find the opportunity within that. And the time is going to pass anyway. So I can lie on the bed for 8 hours and cry about it, or I can put this work in and actually 8 hours are still going to pass, but I'm going to be way further towards what I want because I've not lay on the bed and cried about it. And sometimes I do like to just lie on the bed for 40 minutes. I'm not lying. Occasionally I get a bit overwhelmed. Sometimes, honestly, with work, I'm like, right, I say about asking yourself that one question when you get overwhelmed, what's the one thing that if I could do right now that's going to make everything else easier or unnecessary. Sometimes the answer for me is go and have a lie down on the bed and process your thoughts. And now I'm going to say it myself, go and process your thoughts, but I'm going to label it as figure out your next 5 moves on a micro scale for the day. The free training, Sam, is in the morning. Saturday, this Saturday, 11 a.m. Now, I always say I'm not going to record it, and then I end up getting pleas over email going, oh, I was working, any chance you can record it? And sometimes I buckle into the pressure because I just feel snide if I don't. But I mean, ideally, I don't want to record it because I just like the fact that it's a one-off thing. You come and get it if you really want it. At a push, and I did this last time, I recorded it and I put it online for 48 hours. So I might do that again just for people who definitely can't be there. But if you really want it and you can make it, please be there 11 a.m. Because I love the vibe on a Saturday morning as well. I freaking love it. I get a coffee from Costa downstairs. I'm here, coffee in hand. I'm just ready to give you guys absolute fire. I'm going to deliver freaking value on that call. @onthis.tv/training. Go and register for free. Alicia says, I don't think there is a cap if there's another introductory session. What's that, Alicia? What are you talking about? Let me know what you mean. I can clarify that for you. He'll probably cap... Oh, in terms of the actual day, probably cap it at 100. I mean, yeah, the thing is, and this is what I'm toying with, right? In terms of the people that I let into this, initially, I genuinely thought, right, I'm going to do this day. I'm going to put it out. And I honestly thought 20 people would want to get involved. I thought, you know what? If I get 20 people on it, that'll be cool. I didn't think on the webinar alone, like last time, like 51 people would get a ticket for this. So it completely blew my mind how much demand there was for this, and it made me realize how many people are in this boat in our community. You might be one of them right now who really knows in your heart of hearts that you are good enough to be working, and yet you're just a little bit all over the place. You don't really know who to target, how to target, what to do, who does what you should be shooting, how to present yourself, how to write emails, how to track emails, ultimately to how to really pragmatically figure out your next 5 moves. Ultimately go this plus this plus this plus this plus this, done in the right way, is going to, fingers crossed, equal an opportunity. And it has for me more than 24 times. So it's not something that I've just fluked. It's like, actually, I've done this, and I can work backwards and show you how I got this part, why that part wasn't a coincidence because I'd just done these 2 parts before it, and how I used these 2 parts to get this part. There's some stuff there as well. Obviously, there's a little bit of luck sprinkled in now and again, and my agent played a part now and again as well. Jane's amazing, but I've always been super, super control freakish in terms of going, yes, I want all the help that I can get off other people in the industry, but I also need to feel I'm in control of my career myself. So there's never a point, this week included, where I'm not reaching out to people all over the industry, whether that's here in the UK, abroad, whether it's in serial drama, on top TV drama, top TV comedy. I've been very, very fortunate that I've hustled my ass off for the last 10 years to basically make sure that I am speaking to casting directors, whether it's for my own career or for Acts on This, on an almost weekly basis. So that's how you build up an incredible network of people who you can constantly be in touch with. And you all should be doing that as well. You don't need to be running actsonthis.tv to be sending emails to casting directors. That's insane. I keep both things so separate. I never overstep the mark. And if I'm asking a casting director to be a guest on my site, do I ever include anything about my career within that transaction? That is just not how I do things. So yeah, I didn't realize there was going to be so much demand for this. So it's put me in a bit of a predicament, if I'm honest with you, and I'll just be dead open and honest with you how that works. This is really powerful training for the day. It's powerful training, the free training anyway, but the stuff we're going to go in on the day, on the 5th of September, is like insanely, like, I'm not leaving anything out. I'm giving you the whole kit and caboodle, everything that I do. I'm not leaving anything. So it is very, very powerful, and I know it works because it's worked for me so many times. There does come a point, though, and it's certainly not at the 100 people point, where there's a bit of responsibility comes with having this knowledge. One, if you implement it incorrectly, like, I'm a little bit afraid of that, if I'm honest with you. I'm like, some people rush this, just kind of go hell for leather, don't really take on exactly what I'm saying and do it in the right sequence. It's not going to work for them, or they could potentially screw it up for everybody else. I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you. But there's also the thing of going, the more people who have this information, like, the more competition there is as well, in terms of like, and there is an abundance of stuff out there, but there definitely is a point where I'm like, actually, you know what? For now, I can't give any more people this information because, you know, I don't want the effectiveness of it to stop working. So there is that dilemma. And that's why towards the event, ticket prices have already gone up, in a way not to perturb people or, you know, go, I don't want to get involved with it, but just in terms of like, we can't have as many people as I think will maybe want to get involved with it this time around. And then when I turn it into a full-blown program, then the price will increase again quite significantly as well. So it's only the most dedicated, real, like I was saying before, that $2,000 I spent, it's not going to be $2,000, but that $2,000 that I spent on that course initially, it made me make sure I was freaking serious about carrying out what was inside that program by the latter, step by step. I absorbed every word within that program multiple times to make sure that I did it right. So that's what I want when I actually launch this as a proper program. So in terms of the cap this time, yeah, it probably will be around 100 mark. Poppy, that'll probably be like another, maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe we'll get on the webinar on Saturday, we'll get a few more people getting a ticket when I explain a bit more about it. If you want to find out about it now and guarantee yourself a place, it's actonthis.tv/first roll. You can read all about what's included. A few people have already grabbed their tickets today and I've not even been promoting it anywhere. But yeah, we can't, as much as I would love everybody in the community to have this, there does come a point where I'm like, actually, you know what? There's almost like we're giving too much away here. So, you know, I want people to start getting results first, you know, and then we can start letting other people in once it's worked for other people, and then, you know, we'll see how we go from there. But yeah, it's really, you know, it's really cool. I had no idea it was going to be this popular. I'm just like, and I also thought so many people were doing this, and a lot of stuff that I'm teaching, I'm like, is this not obvious? And it's like, God, no. And I spoke to 2 casting directors this week who both, when I explained to them what I was doing, were like, oh my God, like this would make my life so much easier. So I know it works, and I know it's what, you know, it's actually what casting directors want as well, which is cool. But yeah, get yourself over for the free training if you're interested. That's on this.tv/training. Ollie Reynolds is in the house. There's going to be a blast. It's going to be freaking great. Ollie's going to be there. Alex is in the house. Who else have we got here? Ryan's here. Right, Ryan, hope you're good. How do you sign up? It's actonthis.tv/first roll, Ryan. You can go and read all about it, mate. There's a whole page on it. It's pretty in-depth. Shows you all the bonuses you get if you sign up, if you get your ticket before the 5th. But I don't think tickets are going to be available like up until the 5th. You know, I'm sure they will have gone before that. There has to be a cut-off, otherwise it's insane. So that's the wrong link, Poppy. It's good effort, though. First job on actonthis.tv/first job on TV. It's not, I mean, that's a good link, but it's actonthis.tv/first roll. So if someone could whack that in the chat, that would be helpful. Ollie says it's literally a game changer for the acting industry. It is, mate. And Ollie's had a little inside sneak peek at what we're going to do. So yeah, it is. I'm well excited about it because there just is, you know, no one is doing this. I just think it's needed as well. I'm as frustrated for you lot as you probably are about not getting a role yet. I felt this for 4 years when I left drama school. Had no idea what I was doing. And I felt so frustrated because I'm like, I'm so, you know, come on, what does it take to get 2 lines on a soap? I'm so good enough for that. You know, I'm not asking for, you know, a lead in James Bond here. But I just didn't know the business of the business and how you actually go about that and what you actually need to do in order to make that a reality. And I still don't think drama schools teach it, which like is insane. You know, it's like I said, this week I had a chat with the head of a university who's going to buy a load of licenses for their students so that their students can use actonthis.tv because they can learn from home then as well. Because they still, today, 15 years after I graduated, they still don't cover the real business of the business. And talking about that, I'm going to wrap up now. But we have got this coming this Thursday for members of actonthis.tv. If you're not a premium member, get your membership with the best £6 a week you spend in your freaking life. We've got a fantastic guest this Thursday. Daniel Edwards is one of the biggest TV casting directors in the country. Cast things like Line of Duty with Kate Rose James. Cast loads of stuff for Netflix. He's done all things in the past like Mr. Selfridge, Ripper Street, The Innocents for Netflix. What else he's done recently? Yeah, Line of Duty, Responsible Child, Born to Kill that won a BAFTA. Just so many incredible TV shows. His right-hand woman, Lucy Allen, is coming on to chat to all premium members of actonthis.tv. We're going to do a live mastermind call with her this Thursday night. I'm going to play you this teaser, and Lucy has never done anything like this before as well, and it could potentially be a one and one time only, so you don't want to miss it. But here's what's going to be happening. Actors, I'm back yet again with another invite for you guys to another incredible actonthis.tv live webinar, this time taking place on Thursday, the 27th of August at 7:30 p.m. with this amazing woman here, currently working as casting associate to top TV casting director, Mr. Daniel Edwards. It's Lucy Allen. Lucy, welcome to Act On This. Thanks so much for doing this. What we're going to be talking about on Thursday?
Anything you want to talk about. I am here to answer any questions at all that you've been thinking about casting. I'm happy to help with absolutely anything. No question is stupid.
There are no stupid questions. I say this all the time, bar the ones you don't ask. So ultimately, Lucy's been working with Daniel for the last, 4 years, Lucy?
4 years, yeah.
4 years, cast some incredible stuff. You've also worked with people like Kate Rose James, Lucinda Sison. Who else have you worked with?
Rachel Freck I've worked with, Laura Scott, loads of people. So yeah, but mainly Daniel and Kate, and Vicky Thompson. I worked with Vicky Thompson as well. So yeah, loads.
Amazing. Casting royalty. If you want to get involved, guys, right? If you're an actor, you want to get involved with this, you want to literally jump on camera with me and Lucy, put your career questions to Lucy, have a little one-to-one, anything on acting, casting, auditioning, emails with something we were just talking about, the do's and the don'ts, actors getting that right and wrong. We can talk you through what you definitely don't want to put in an email and what you do want to put in an email. And if you do want to get involved, get yourself over to actonthis.tv/live for full details of how you can get involved this time and in all future webinars as well. I do this every single week. And Lucy, a little bit of pressure on you, but why don't actors want to miss this one?
Because I never do this kind of thing and probably never will do it ever again. So this is your only chance to ask me any questions.
Nice. One time only. If you want to be there, actonthis.tv/live. actonthis.tv/live if you want to be there. As Lucy said, it could literally be the one and one time only that she ever does this. It's just going to be a wicked chat, and I've known Lucy years as well. We used to go to the same. Lucy was an actress many years ago. We used to go to the same acting class up here in Manchester before she started working in casting. So it's just going to be. I love it when we get guests on that I know really well, because like we just have a great laugh. We only discovered we were actually kind of like I knew Lucy sort of more than she knew me, I think. So I was like, Lucy, we were at Apple TV. She was like, did we do that thing together? I was like, yeah, we did a, this was how like ambitious Apple TV was back in the day. Chris Maloney, who was helping Michael run it at the time, decided we were all going to try and film a live soap opera in front of a live audience in a bar in Manchester. We filmed it downstairs in the bar live, beamed it upstairs to the TVs upstairs and played it out live. And I'm like, Chris, like, this is what EastEnders do, like, you know, on like £1 million budget and like 6 weeks rehearsal. Like, we're doing it for 20 quid in the back of a pub. It was mental. But yeah, we've got some stories to tell, which will be exciting. And Lindsay says, when are you going to launch a sister agency, Act On This Management? So many people have said that over the years, I should be an agent. I just have no passion for it. Two things that people always say I should do. One, when you're going to start like, you know, an acting school or acting classes or something. Oh, I couldn't think of anything worse. Can't think of anything. I am certainly not one to teach anybody how to act. I think it's such a personal process. Just don't want to do it. I have no passion for it whatsoever. And agenting, zero passion for it whatsoever. I couldn't deal with the logistics. Can you imagine looking after 80 actors? I find it hard enough looking after myself. Imagine going, yeah, I've got 80 on the books. Right, Gary, you're doing this today, and you know, Poppy, you're out on Corrie. So, I couldn't do it. Hats off to all the agents. I don't know how they cope, because I just, you know, I worked in casting for 2 years, and that was really bad as well. The logistics in that, sorting out auditions, you know, for people is really, it's too much. Just blows my mind. Steve says, got my ticket on the day it was announced, the 5th. Can't come quick enough, Steve. I will see you at the event. Oh, it looks like we've got a little bit of a robot or a troll here. Omon says, I'm very happy for what Dr. Omozji has done for me. I was diagnosed with herpes 4 years ago. I lived in pain with the knowledge that I wasn't going to ever be well again. I contacted so many herbal doctors on this issue and wasted a large sum of money. I can't be bothered reading the rest, but I'm sure you got sorted, Omon. And if you are real, and that is a real comment, Congrats. I'm pretty sure it's not. That's the first one we've had on Facebook that's been a bit mental. We used to get quite a lot of trolls on Periscope and on Twitter, but I've not seen any of those things before. Sam says, I think Oman is spamming. This spam is the bane of my life, says Alicia. Oh, God. Yeah, and we'll end it there. I think we're going to end it on herpes this evening. So thanks for being here. If you've got herpes right now, Dr. Animosity can definitely help you out. I can't, so don't email me for that. But I can help you out if you need anything on your acting career. So do let me know. If you've not got your membership to actonthis.tv, go get one. Join us for this live training on Saturday, actonthis.tv/training. Even the free training will change your career if you implement it. I can't do it for you, but I swear to God it will. If you want to get involved with this event on the 5th, you're going to find out more about it on this free training, or you can go to actonthis.tv/first roll right now to enroll. Shout out to those people who've got their ticket today. I've seen quite a few come in. And I'll be back next... No, it's going to be Thursday, isn't it? Of course, I'm going to be back Thursday night with Lucy. I'm going to say I'll be back next Monday. No, Thursday night with Lucy. It's going to be awesome. And I've got 2 other top casting directors lined up for you guys over the next 3 weeks, and a great director. I'm not going to tell you who they are now, but we have like another massive casting director who has never been on actonthis.tv before, who casts some of the biggest comedy and drama in the country. Literally, huge stuff. Again, we're going to be doing mastermind calls with these people for all members of actonthis.tv. So I'm going to love you and leave you. It looks like most people are saying they're off as well. Very excited for the 5th, says Joe. I will see you there. Joe, hope you are good. And before you go, just wanted to say, please can you check the message I sent you, says Alex. What, now, Alex? I want to check it and read it out to the world. If people have been messaging me, I'm so sorry. I've been like so behind and trying to sort everything out. Alex, I'll see if it's PG related, if I can read it in front of everybody. Also said, yeah, so it's about an email address. I won't read the email address out, but that is correct, Alex. And the CDG's website on what that person is doing now may just not have been updated, but that is 100% correct, and that is how I have got hold of that person before. So yeah, that is correct, mate, definitely. And you lot who are coming on the 5th, you're going to get the most in-depth contacts database of casting directors ever to be created. Petch has put 24 hours, literally working hours, into that spreadsheet. So yeah, you're going to get all that info as well. Let's have a look. Last question. Thanks for getting back regarding the Sunday press article. Yeah, no worry, Nat. Don't. That's just a lesson for anybody. So a lot of actors email me. I won't talk about that in particular, but a lot of actors email me, and their email will be, paragraph 1 will be, here's what's happened. Paragraph 2 will be, here's what I think about it. And paragraph 3 will just be basically looking for permission for me to say, yeah, you're right. And nearly, I'd say 99 out of 100 emails I get where they say in paragraph 2, here's how I feel about it and this is what I'm thinking of doing. That's always what I tell them to do. It's almost like they just need a bit of a soundboard to go, is this the right thing to do? And it's because your intuition already knows. Please listen to that more and more, everybody. Like, your intuition is, intuition means literally in spirit. Like, it's almost as if like your spirit is almost a few steps ahead of where you are, and it's already got the answer. It's almost like when you meet someone, you go, oh, something shifty about them. It's almost like your spirit is feeling something. It's almost like it's gone a bit into the future and gone, oh yeah, no, you are a bit dodgy. Listen to your intuition, listen to your gut. So many casting directors have said, follow your instinct, follow your gut. Andy Pryor always says that, when you get a script, what's your gut instinct telling you about this character, about this situation, about the way you deliver this script? 99 out of 100 times it's always going to be right. So listen to that more, get out of your head, get into your heart, because your heart already knows. That's what I say a lot of the time. Right, going to love you and leave you guys. I'm going to play out Lucy's teaser again. But yeah, come and join us at actonthis.tv/live. Get your membership. I want to see you there, 7:30 p.m. Thursday evening. Until then, lots of love. It's bye for now. Actors, I'm back yet again with another invite for you guys to another incredible actonthis.tv live webinar, this time taking place on Thursday, the 27th of August at 7:30 p.m. with this amazing woman here, currently working as casting associate to top TV casting director, Mr. Daniel Edwards. It's Lucy Allen. Lucy, welcome to Act On This. Thanks so much for doing this. What we're going to be talking about on Thursday?
Anything you want to talk about. I am here to answer any questions at all. that you've been thinking about casting, I'm happy to help with absolutely anything. No question is stupid.
There are no stupid questions. I say this all the time, bar the ones you don't ask. So ultimately, Lucy's been working with Daniel for the last, 4 years, Lucy?
4 years, yeah.
4 years, cast some incredible stuff. You've also worked with people like Kate Rose James, Lucinda Sison. Who else have you worked with?
Rachel Freck I've worked with, Laura Scott, loads of people. So yeah, but mainly Daniel and Kate, and Vicky Thompson. I worked with Vicky Thompson as well. So yeah, loads.
Amazing. Casting royalty. If you want to get involved, guys, right? If you're an actor, you want to get involved with this, you want to literally jump on camera with me and Lucy, put your career questions to Lucy, have a little one-to-one, anything on acting, casting, auditioning, emails was something we were just talking about, the do's and the don'ts, actors getting that right and wrong. We can talk you through what you definitely don't want to put in an email and what you do want to put in an email. If you do want to get involved, get yourself over to actonthis.tv/live for full details of how you can get involved this time and in all future webinars as well. I do this every single week. And Lucy, a little bit of pressure on you, but why don't actors want to miss this one?
Because I never do this kind of thing and probably never will do it ever again. So this is your only chance to ask me any questions.
Nice. One time only. If you want to be there, actonthis.tv/live.